podcast? No.
Well, pull a goddamn seat, brother, and fucking sit down.
I don't know.
All right. Drunk shepherd. Or false shepherd. So, here we go. All right. Before I even start this, because this conversation is going to get... I'm attacking something that people are not addressing right now, and people don't want to address. And it sucks because, first of all, I'm not racist. Everybody tags somebody as a racist if you don't agree with the status quo, correct? If you want to get in here, Al, you can get in here too as well. It's up to you. So the thing is, before I even begin, I am talking about what happened with the Floyd with the case with George Floyd. Now, I know it's a very sensitive issue. My foot's fine, thank you. With people, because it's a race thing, right? It's a huge race thing. So before I even begin, this is my disclaimer. If you don't like it, if you don't want to hear this, if you don't want to get involved in it, don't get involved. Just leave it alone. Just hang up or disconnect from your phone. My fucking foot still hurts. And that's it. That's all you got to do, because I'm going to touch on certain things. First of all, before I even begin as well, I am not pro-cop, and I am not against police officers as well, cops. I am very indifferent into how they are. I understand the job by nature is inherently violent, and it takes violence to enforce. It takes violence to force good rules and discipline in a violent society. So that's where I am with police officers and everything. The case of what happened and how it went down with the verdict on that police officer, I disagree with. And I'm going to tell you guys the reason why. If somebody wants to jump on here and argue with me, that's totally fine. But until I get my point across. So my thing with the Floyd case was, I am not interested in the fact of color. Yet again, this goes back to the aspect of color and how people think that color is everything and it defines everything as a human being is color. If you think like that and you look at everybody as color, you'll never progress as a human being at all, because there's more to people than color. And to think that people, you can change and you can freaking be rid of racism is ignorant. You'll never get rid of racism. You can never because human beings are naturally freaking horrible by nature. That's the trait that you see here. Going off on a tangent, you see what happened in the Holocaust. You see what happened in Rwanda. You see what happened in almost every aspect of the American Indians. Everything going on. Evil's there, and evil's in human beings. So that's why I don't believe in the race thing. The race thing is just an easy thing that you can argue with people, and you can say, well, you're racist because you're white. You're racist because you're this. You're racist because you're that. I'm oppressed. I'm all that stuff. You can jump in here if you want, but I'm not about that. This is an abstract idea that I've completely moved away from, because what's the point? It does nothing. It serves no purpose but to establish a very weak argument, and an argument that honestly does not move past any kind of intelligence. If you're really thinking about color and race, you should be really thinking about our biology as human beings, and that we're all the same. So before I go into this thing, I just let everybody know again, disclaimer: if you don't like this whole, if you're pro BLM, or you're you like the verdict. I don't like. I don't believe in any government taking anybody's life for any apparent reason. What happened to that man was tragic, and I feel for the family, and I wish the best for them. However, the law is the law. The law of the land is a lot different. And what baffles me in this case is that the law wasn't followed, and it wasn't followed to the T. And there's a lot of little things as a defense attorney or as a lawyer I would have done differently for that police officer. Again, I'm not about supporting the police. I don't support police. I don't support freaking. I am very neutral and very unbiased to it. I believe. I have a lot of friends that are police officers, and I respect what they do because of the fact that it's a very, especially times like this, it's a very difficult job to have. But in the same note, I think the state and the government has done them wrong with making everything freaking criminalized. So here we go. We're going to go into it with the George Floyd case. Now, this is the thing with the Floyd George, the autopsy. I'm a big person in facts and how the law reads. So if you go online, you can actually read the freaking 20-page paper from the forensic pathologist that was working the case of George Floyd. So the man was 46 years old. Obviously, he was killed during the confrontation with police officers. So this is the thing, though. The police officer was charged with 3 things. Now, serve me over right. If anyone wants to correct me, you cannot be charged with third-degree murder and then second-degree murder. It makes no freaking judicial sense that he was charged for these cases. And the reason for it, honestly, why I think is because, well, let's not go there yet. So I'm going to read you exactly what's on the freaking forensic from the report. The pathologist that hand was Andrew M. Baker, MD. Obviously, he's the forensic pathologist of the autopsy in the 46-year-old man. So the defense's the prosecution's argument that was the trachea was freaking closed and erupted and it was shattered, or not shattered, but it was how do I say it? The trachea was damaged during the whole entire time that he had his neck on George Floyd. Before I go into that, the reason why I'm kind of happy this case that he was found guilty for all this shit is it sets precedents. So the fact that a police officer can lay their freaking neck on you, that's going to change. That's a liability. It's the same thing that changed when what was his name? Rodney King was beaten with a chokehold. Police officers should not be doing chokeholds on you, except for that case in New York where that man actually died from it. So I pulled the forensic freaking report because, to me, if you're going to remember, this is not about feelings. It's not about how you feel about this, what's going on, about racism, nothing like that. It's about facts and factual evidence. The state has the burden and responsibility to prove a reasonable doubt that these crimes were committed with intent or accidentally. So you saying third-degree murder, second-degree murder, manslaughter without the intent of knowing but committing a felony. Did he know that he was doing what he was doing? Now the thing is, the only way that you're going to prove that is if the forensic pathologist rules that cause of death was due to the fact that that man was on that man's neck. Then yes. However, in the case of George Floyd, that was not the autopsy was inconclusive. It did not prove cause of death. So as a defense attorney, I would first thing as a defense attorney I would have done for the cop, for the police officer, I would have requested that the trial be heard out of state. And the reason for that is you're all forgetting. Put your emotions aside. Anybody's tried by the Constitution and by the law of the land. You want to be tried by your peers. You want a speedy trial, and you want to be tried by your own peers that are not being influenced by any outsource. For instance, for example, if I was the judge, if I was the jury, there were protesters outside the courthouse when this case was being heard. That right there will sway any juror from thinking in a different way, of not really understanding the case and trying to. That's a big deal, man. Everybody has a right, no matter, regardless of what you did, you have a right to a fair trial. That was not fair. So that's the fault of the defense attorney, and that's the fault of the judge. I would say the burden of responsibility is on them too. You're talking about a serious freaking allegation of somebody being murdered. You do not need anything that will sway or manipulate the jurors from deciding a certain way. That's what you saw with this case. You also saw Maxine Waters, even Kamala Harris, saying things. Hold on, Rod. You and I will argue this later. Hold on, brother. Don't go anywhere. Give me 30 minutes. So you have Maxine Waters and all them. That right there is the grounds of of throwing that case out of it completely out, because what you are manipulating what these jurors are going to do, what they're going to decide. So that's my problem with this case. The second thing is it was heard in the state where it happened. For example, what I would have referred to as a lawyer would be the Lee Harvey Oswald case. Remember, the case happened in Texas, and the reason why Lee Harvey Oswald was extradited out of the state because they requested out of state. They wanted him to be tried in a different state, in a different town, where nothing would manipulate the idea of the jurors. That's a huge deal, but he was assassinated. So as a defense attorney, it's the first thing I would have done. There's two things I would have done for the cop. Even though, yet again, let me stress this out. I'm a straight fucking anarchist. I do not believe in government. I do not believe in government's that has the best interest for people at all. Because I believe all human beings are shit, and everything that we ever do it's naturally violent. Human beings are horrible. So don't get this twisted that I'm being racist against black. No, I'm not. I love facts. I love numbers. I love black and white. I do not care about feelings. I don't care about emotions. So let's go back into it. That's what happened with the case. The case was heard in Minneapolis. The jurors every day had to go through a field of freaking protest. That's not how it should have went down. Should have went down with respect to the law and respect to the case and been heard. Even though I don't believe in government, I believe in the Constitution because the Constitution is the land of the law. And unfortunately, we don't follow it now. So let me get into the pathologist's report. First thing and foremost, because I'm a true believer in factual evidence. And the reason why this man should have been prosecuted, because if the cause of death was ruled because that he kneed on that man's freaking neck, that is the cause of death, boom, lock him up. But that's not the case. Blunt force injuries. Item number 1. Contiguous blunt force injuries on the forehead, face, and upper lip. So being slammed down. Injuries of the lip, slammed down. Okay, pattern contusions in the same areas abroad of the wrist from restraints, handcuffs. When I got arrested by the cops, because I've been arrested for throwing away trash. Yeah, that's a thing. Natural diseases. So apparently Floyd had a lot of chronic diseases that he had. For instance, number 54 milligrams a mile. Clinical history of hypertension. Hypertension is a big deal. Left pelvic tumor. Incidental, yeah. So they found a tumor in the guy. All right, in the left pelvic tumor. No life-threatening injuries, no facial, oral, no injuries, no scalp, soft tissue, skull, or brain injuries. So that means that nobody, if you know forensic medicine, if you know pathology, if you know mortuary affairs, like a lot of my soldiers do, when you see something on the soft scalp and anywhere in the brain, you're looking for freaking, i.e., that right there will cause bruising, that will cause freaking soft tissue damage and everything like that. That was not personally found on George Floyd. No chest wall, soft tissue injuries, rib fractures, other than a single rib fracture from CPR. So it was ruled that the fracture from that he had on his ribs from CPR, very common injuries, nothing like that. Because in conclusions, nothing at all. Now, my favorite is toxicity. Now, this is a theory from just knowing lawyers and knowing the law and knowing me being a fucking hoodlum. Fentanyl. Just because somebody's drunk or high doesn't mean that they're freaking that you should really rule them automatically guilty. I'm a firm believer in drugs should be legal. All drugs, heroin, fentanyl, methamphetamine, all of it should be legal. If you want to destroy your life, that's up to you. And you do it your own way. So fentanyl. Hold on, Rod. Give me 5 more minutes. Fentanyl. Yeah, 11 nanograms of fentanyl. That's a lot of fucking fentanyl. That will fucking kill a human being. The reason why they were so high at fentanyl, the time when he got pulled over, he probably swallowed that fentanyl and took it in. Methamphetamines was 19 nanograms or milliliters of methamphetamine. Another thing too that'll help you because caffeine was present, so was THC at 1.2 nanograms of that. Delta 9 carbex THC 42. Oh, damn, he was stoned as fuck. So that's a lot right there. So you're looking at what's going on, what was in the system. So the man was obviously high. And honestly, from just reading the forensic pathologist report, that contributed a lot to the man's death. Not to mention the police officer sitting on his neck, but fentanyl, 11 nanograms of fentanyl in your system. That's a lot of fucking fentanyl. With 19 nanograms of freaking methamphetamine. Caffeine was also present. So you're talking about a man that has hypertension, that has heart disease, and you're putting this in his body. And not to mention the stress of somebody laying on your neck. That's a lot right there. So you go back into the comments. So now the cause of death was not ruled. There was no cause of death, and it was inconclusive. So the 20-page paper talks about everything: tattoos, clothing, personal effects, medical intervention, evidence of injury. So the injury, this is the thing. So the prosecution said that his trachea was destroyed. It was not destroyed at all. All he had was abrasions on the left cheek. He had a 6.5 millimeter abrasion, 0.6 maximum detention on the red abrasion, just inferior to the left corner of the mouth. So from getting slammed on the ground by this police officer. So you have all this evidence, shoulders, extremities. And you basically have defense wounds on him for freaking trying to protect himself from falling down, wrists and hands, handcuffs. And nowhere does it state anything about a trachea being damaged. So therefore, the prosecution's argument is invalid. Nothing whatsoever supports that idea. The head, the soft tissue of the scalp, and are free of injury. No head injury, nothing at all. Boom. Fluids around. So we had clear composition of spinal fluid surrounding about 138 grams of the brain. It's remarkable growth. So neck, body cavities, respiratory system. The right and left lungs weigh about 10.85 and 10.15 grams, respectively. The external surfaces are pink only on the most aspects, the deep red, purple in the other areas. All right, smoking. Yeah, it's probably from smoking meth and doing all kinds of drugs. The mass lesions, cardiovascular system, boom, had a bad heart. Everything's in there. So yet again, my point is, I'm going to jump on with Rod real quick. My point is, this guy was stoned, fentanyl and everything. Feelings don't matter. It's factual evidence that matters. I understand that some people feel the black community is being freaking targeted and everything with what happened, with what's going on. Yeah, I see it. I see your argument. However, you're not going to end racism. Just because you're making a point to put it out there and you're saying these people are racist and they should change, you're not going to change that. This goes back to freaking human behavior. Human beings are naturally evil by trait. You cannot change that. And instead of crying about racism, why don't you bitch about the certain thing, the 3 strikes law, making everything criminalized. Everything's criminalized. Everything you do is criminalized. Drinking, freaking driving the cell phone, driving without a seatbelt, that's all criminal. This invokes your ability to freaking actually be addressed by a police officer. My thing is, get rid of no-knock warrants. Stop criminalizing everything. If you stop criminalizing everything, you're ceasing the way a police officer comes to contact with you. My puppy's drinking. So you get rid of that. You get rid of the 3 strike law. You get rid of the goddamn fucking prison, the prison industrial complex. You get rid of the fucking prisoners. Remember, slavery is illegal only unless it's awarded as a punishment. You get rid of all that. You end what has been done by the Democratic Party. Honestly, it's by the Democratic Party. Clinton did all this. You get rid of all this bullshit. You get rid of all the police state. You get rid of all this stuff. You decriminalize everything. Not everything. A funny post. I saw a friend post, abolish the police. I fucking laughed. You can't abolish the police. You know what? You know why police officers exist, honestly, is to protect ignorant, dumb fucking people. Because dumb fucking people have issues with freaking child custody. Dumb fucking people call the cops when they can't handle shit like an adult and use their minds and use their fucking language and the way they address. Police officers exist because human beings are fucking dumb. Evolve yourself from the fucking race issue. It's race. I get it. People are assholes. How do I say this? It's dumb to think that somebody right now in our small town, didn't we experience racism right now with some white folks?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Did we care?
No, not at all.
Who fucking cares? If they want to be ignorant, stupid, and fucking goddamn dumb human beings, let them. Because that's what it is. It just like, oh, the racism. Dude. You don't know what racism is unless you live in the 60s. Unless you live in the freaking, in the deep South back in the 50s and 60s. You don't know what racism, you know what racism is when your people are coming from Puerto Rico being sterilized by the U.S. government. You know what racism is when freaking Mexicans are being freaking kicked out of their homes at the freaking, at Chavez, what's it called in LA? Chavez Carvin, where the stupid ass Dodgers play. I fucking hate LA. I fucking hate the Dodgers. Yeah, you don't know what racism is until your fucking people are moved out of there. That's racism. Now these days, because cops are killing colored people, this girl with a knife trying to kill. No. Police officers are human beings just like you and I. They don't have enough training. No. No one ever knows anybody's shit until they're in their shit. Nobody ever knows the smell of shit until you're in it. Until you're actually out there in the fucking field, you have to do some fucking grunt shit. No one knows that shit. Let's see, send a live request. Let's see who this is. Yeah, let's do this. We're going live. Hold on. Like, it's fucking annoying, man. Like, what's up, girl?
How are you, First Sergeant?
Why can't I be first on? Why can't I be just Gomez? Talk to me.
I don't know. What's up? I don't know what's the whole thing. I saw your post, and I was like, "What is he gonna talk about?" I'm curious about it.
Well, the thing I'm beating the drum on is this whole George Floyd thing, and like honestly, man, I don't like cops, but I respect. I hate saying. No, I don't hate saying like that. I have an issue with authority. There we go. And I respect the job that they do because people are stupid, and inherently they have to do that job. But in the same note, I don't like the fact that we're policed. Like as Americans, we have the largest incarceration of any persons in this world as Americans, and I hate it. And I understand why. It's the big lie of the left, the big lie. I hate Republicans. I hate Democrats mainly more because they're the people that put our people. Remember, you're Hispanic, right? Where are you from, Mama? From Mexico, right?
Yes.
Who put the Illegal Immigration Act into power? That was Bill Clinton. Who deported more Mexicans Hispanic folks than anybody? That was the Obama administration. And everybody puts a blind eye to it. And it fucking sucks. Like, no one addresses these really issues. They think that because Biden, dude, I'm a firm believer. My dad's done mental health for over 40 years. My dad is a doctor. He worked with freaking Dr. Drew, Dr. Gutman. And he's a firm believer. He has damn dementia. And no one addresses that shit. No one does. It's like this big fucking, I don't know. And I'm going on a tangent now, but I'm just so mad about the shit. Hey, Rod, give me 2 minutes. I'm about to get on the phone right now with her because my friend Rodriguez is coming this line. But what do you got for me, Mama, before I hang up?
I'm good.
All right. I'll see you soon. Go ahead and freaking hang up on me so I can get on the phone with Rod. Thank you, Mama. I'll see you soon, all right?
All righty. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Where's my Rod at? So, yeah, did you get my request? But, yeah, it's just hey, Rod, send it again. It just pisses me off, man. Everything's about race now. Like, fuck, dude, we're human fucking beings. We bleed the same. We have the same organs. The fuck are you getting at, man? It's about race. No, it's about a police state. It's about your government doing freaking horrible things to people, and no one bats an eye. Let's hell yeah. Here's my Rod real quick. Waiting for Rod.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for referring to me as your Rod. It's very fucking like heartwarming for me to hear some shit like that.
You
no,
know what?
motherfucker, don't ever refer to me as your
Rod, you know what's funny, Rodriguez?
You fucking asshole.
I was always scared of you, dude. I was terrified of you, man. Remember the vet center in Cal State LA? I was always like, man, don't fuck with this dude. He's real serious, you know?
I can be. I can be. When I don't know people, I kind of like, you got that guard up, bro. That's how we're built. That's how we're built, you know?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know you. You know, you give them, take a fuck and walk through to whatever they want. You gotta fucking snuff them in the jaw, and then you get in trouble and get arrested. Nah, not worth it. So, what's going on with this shout-out thing, huh?
Well, the thing I'm mad about is the whole George Floyd thing and how everything was treated. Trust me, dude. Look, again, I always say it. I don't like with the fact that I'm a firm believer that government has no right to kill another human being. And I don't care if George was white, Chinese, Mongolian. No, they have no right. But the same note with the same is the fact that honestly, he should never been convicted. He should never been convicted for these crimes. And I hate saying that. A lot of people are no, I don't hate saying it. People are going to hate me for it, but there's no factual evidence. The coroner ruled it inconclusive. That man was on fentanyl, methamphetamines. He had COVID. There's in forensic medicine, you have to find out what caused that person to die. None of that was there in this case. And the only reason to me, you had Maxine Waters, Kamala Harris. You had all these people to talk about this case. And an ongoing case. The jury went through freaking demonstrations. They went through freaking people protesting. That sways the whole entire jury. Dude, regardless of who you are, white, black, identify as a goat, you have a right by the Constitution for a fair and speedy trial. That was not accomplished. And even the judge said that the appeal and the state of Minneapolis, where they're at, where's Minneapolis at? Ohio, right? Or I can't remember that.
No, Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, yeah. Minnesota. They have 90 days to appeal the case, and I hope they appeal it, and I hope it gets thrown out. Because, dude, the law is the law, and people get so emotional about it. Like, justice for Floyd. Like, I get it. The black community feels a certain way about things, but, dude, you're not addressing the true issue. You're not addressing what's going on. You're not addressing the issue that there's a police state, the 3-strike laws, no-knock warrants. You're not addressing the true issues that will make true change to this country. You're trying to tell human beings the worst things that God ever made to stop freaking being racist. It's impossible. It's not.
All right.
Let me hear you.
So let me chime in a few points here that you make, and some of them are legit. Some of them I'm going to give a different perspective on.
Yeah, I fucking love
I'm going to start with I'm going to start with the whole cause first, right?
All right.
So like, when we talk about COVID, right? When we're talking about COVID, I'm just going to steer away from this for a second. When we talk about COVID, the biggest complaint or the biggest argument when we're talking about the death toll and how serious it is and how serious it's not, right, is the underlying conditions, right? Like, people underlying conditions get affected by COVID or worse, and those are the ones that are usually dying and blah, 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 this and that, right?
Yeah. I have them right here.
Necessarily COVID itself. Hold on a minute. So it's not necessarily COVID itself, but COVID is what triggers those things to go into overdrive, which can cause a death for those people. Yes?
Yes.
So in this case, whether Floyd was on a drug or whatever it is and what have you and everything else, although it may not be the direct and only sole cause, having his knee where it was could have adversely affected all those things to go into overdrive.
I concur.
And that's
concur.
You got to remember. This is what I was arguing from day one that turned out to be a fact. everybody is bitching, oh, it's in fucking intentional. I was like, dude, it's not fucking intentional. I'm glad they downgraded it to second degree because it's unintentional. And that's what people fail to realize. This wasn't unintentional. It wasn't tried and it wasn't fucking caused as intentional. That's what everybody was calling for. That didn't happen. And people fail to fucking acknowledge that. But I only talk to reasonable people that understand that, like you. He got tried and he got convicted of exactly what it is. Because while I don't agree that he did it intentionally, I do think that his negligent behavior, case in point, you don't have to go that far. The mere fact that he had his fucking knee on his neck after the dude was handcuffed, do you understand how fucking strong your core muscles have to be to get up off the ground when you're fucking handcuffed? Like, you gotta be a fucking gymnast that's been a gymnast and never fucking taken a drink of alcohol or eaten anything fat for fucking years to have that kind of core muscle to get up on your own. So the mere fact that he didn't allow him up was negligent, and that was where he went wrong. Shit like that is where he went wrong.
All right.
Right?
I agree. I agree with.
And so he got convicted, and I think, like, you know, I think everything that he got, he deserves, and more. But would it have been hard to prove intentional murder? Oh yeah, wholeheartedly would have been hard to prove. So I'm glad that it got downgraded to second degree because he couldn't have got out of that.
All right, now.
Okay, so that's cool.
Now,
However, the other topic that's fucking firing up at the moment is the girl with the knife and the shooting there.
Okay.
Now with that situation right there, and I've had different debates with different people that I find very educated and also very smart and savvy. And I don't think that officer had any kind of malicious intent. You know, I had one person tell me, you know that the girl that got shot was the one that called the cops. And I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. So the cop was supposed to get there, and in the middle of all the chaos, he was supposed to be able to distinguish who was the one that made the call and who didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, dude, come on. Like how did that go about, right?
Pele!
In my opinion, and from what I saw, where she was when she presented the knife, like she literally, like, if you look at the video and you look at when the first shot went off and where the knife was to her arm,
yeah,
there was no time for him to fucking reach and disarm her in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, he had to shoot. I
think it's a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah. Now,
but I do think that he volition and meant, but because the way the climate of the world is right now, that's unfortunately what people are leaning on.
Now, this is the thing.
And you have to be. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off. Now, the Floyd thing, you said so we're talking about the police officer and what he did and all that, the neck and everything. Now, this is where I will disagree with you, because the fact of he should have never been convicted, and this is why. From the coroner's report, the neck, the layer by layer of the outer inner strain of muscles of the neck disclosed no areas of contusions or hemorrhages within the muscular, the thyroid, cartilage, and the hyoid bone are intact. The thorax is lined by intact muscular. The thyroid is symmetrical and red and brown. So this is telling me with the man, hold on, sorry. The spinal column is probably stable and free of hemorrhages. So this tells me right here that by the law of the land, and by the coroner's report, unfortunately, that police officer stepping on his neck had nothing to do with his death. That's from the coroner's report. So that's where I say it didn't.
I'm going to chime in on that. So,
yeah.
Have you ever twisted your arm in a certain way where your bruises are in one place, but the pain is somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it possible that just because the bruises were in one place, the actual effects of that were somewhere else?
Possibly, yes. I'm not going to just,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, and here's the other part of this. And this is where I somewhat agree with you and I somewhat don't, because I really think the defense team did a really fucking poor job.
Yes.
I think the defense
Horrible.
team did a fucking horrible job. You guys are focused on trying to rebut what the prosecution is instead of creating another explanation. And I thought that's where they went wrong. And the prosecution played into the emotions of people. Like, I was like, wow, bro. Everybody that they brought out as a witness was a person of color. I was like, they were playing that card like a mofo, bro. And I was like, you know what? I even told some friends, I was like, dude, they're gonna win. They're gonna win. A, because they're playing the cards that they need to, and the defense team is just horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, bro.
The case
So,
should.
Look, at the end of the day.
Yeah, go
At
ahead.
the end of the day, the stats and the facts that you're reading, they're after reports too. You also have to take that into account. You're reading after reports as opposed to where you're sitting in that meeting. And if you're not savvy on this type of knowledge, you got to take into account that you're an educated man with a degree who might understand biology and understand these things like other people don't. If you're one of those jurors and you have no idea what the fuck it means for someone to have bruises in certain areas but not others, they don't know how to take that into fact.
I fucking love Rob.
So you can't necessarily look at that. Now, where I will tell you that you are case in point, and I would hope, and I want to say I hope, because I honestly, like, wholeheartedly, my gut feeling is that this piece of shit abused his power and caused that shit to get out of hand. So
yes.
whether he serves 5, 50, 60, fuck him. I care less if he fucking appeals or not. I ain't give a rat's ass. The pieces of shit like him is what gives cops the bad names.
Yes.
People like you and I both know James. You and I both know James.
Yeah.
Right? James White from Area 22. Dude that used to drive the Ford Falcon when you were in the
Yeah.
same area I was.
Yeah.
Right? And that dude's a fucking solid guy. Yes or no?
Solid as fuck.
What? Solid as fuck. He's an LAPD cop, bro.
I know.
And people like him that are fucking solid, they have to watch their back because of pieces of shit like this dude.
Yeah.
So pieces of shit like him that abuse their power and don't know how to take care of people, fuck him, dude. I care less. He can fucking rot in jail for all I care.
Yeah. But
right?
But this,
now, I'm trying to give you perspectives from just the point itself.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm bringing this. They were saying, I remember hearing a legal analyst say that because he pleaded the fifth, he can try to argue that he didn't understand what the fifth meant and request an appeal on that. Plus, the interference of the comments of the political parties that were involved can also be grounds for considering an appeal too. So
yes,
we're going to have to unfortunately let that play out however it was. But based on what was going on in this case alone, just sticking to what we saw here, I don't think that they were wrong in convicting him because, again, everything was unintentional. There was nothing in there that was intentional. So it was unintentional, and when you do unintentional, it just has to be an accident, and you just have to prove that this dude was being careless. And that's all they proved, and that's all he got convicted of.
How?
What do you mean how?
How do you prove it was unintentional?
Because I gave you a perfect example. The minute he got handcuffed, why didn't he bring him up?
True, but the thing is,
what's the point of keeping him on the ground, keeping your knee on him for another fucking 7 minutes?
Yeah,
like
8. It was 8.
I mean,
8.
I just want someone to justify that alone. Just justify that alone. Fuck everything else that happened.
Yeah.
But justify how you kept your knee on someone's back 7 minutes
8.
after you handcuffed him.
8.
Like I said, my fat ass, and that dude was about as fat as I was. I might be maybe a lot bigger than that dude, but the point is, I know my ass was to get myself up, my fucking hands tied behind my back. So he didn't either. How the fuck do you justify keeping your fucking knee on him after you handcuffed him for that long? That's negligent. It's fucking irresponsible and it's stupid. And that for that alone, I could understand wholeheartedly why he got convicted. Even if a medical doctor came in and said, "Oh well, you know, there's like fucking medical and like there's so many fucking blood cells that like and you know the drug fucking levels were totally high." I don't give a fuck. That dude kept his knee on 7 minutes longer unintentionally, and it could have triggered everything else to go into a domino effect. Period. You're a piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. I don't care.
But the argument from the medical examiner is this: that did not play a role in his cause of death. And this is the thing. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you in the fact that, dude, I hate saying it, man. I do not trust government. I do not trust law. I don't trust it because it's abuse of power. When we deal with shit every day, you become a certain way. But the thing is, the cause of death, even going through cutting him open, because we do for mortuary. That police officer did not play a role in that man's death, and that's why
you don't know that. You don't know that.
That's what the report said. It's a 20-page report, and it says all of it. It says everything found by Dr. Andrew M. Baker, MD, the head pathologist of the case, and it's perspective. Like my homeboy, freaking is telling me my chief, my gunner, my chief. Hold on. Perspective.
Does it say that there's other possibilities, or does it say wholeheartedly that was the actual fact?
It's inclusive.
Because what I read was that it's that there's a lot of possibilities. Not that it was that didn't and this did.
From the 20-page paper from the medical examiner says inconclusive results of the cause of death on George Floyd, inclusive, aka Floyd Perry. Nothing at all, inclusive. So the fact that see, dude, it's to me, it's black and white. Yeah, that's what I love about you, dude. You and I are disagreeing, and the fact that you and I can talk about this live and not get upset. That's why I fucking love you, dude. Because I see your point. I hate the fact that I honestly am scared to get pulled over by a cop. I really am, because it can go shitty real quick. Like, dude, you have people dying all the time from this government that just wants to police us. Don't do that.
I don't worry.
Wear your seatbelt. I worry about it, honestly. Dude, that's why I live in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I don't, though. But I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because you're handsome.
I don't worry about it.
Because you're handsome.
Because I'm very polite and I'm respectful. And the other reason is wholeheartedly, and this is where I agree with the narrative, I look white.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, but in the same note,
when I was young, I dealt with the bullshit. When I was young, I dealt with the bullshit because I love when people argue with me and they're like, "Oh, you have no idea what it feels like." I'm like, "Bitch, I grew up where MS-13 fucking started. Do you think my fucking best friends all looked white? Do you think I had friends named Chad and Zach and fucking, John Smith? No, motherfucker. My homeboys' names were named fucking Daniel, fucking Antonio, Miguel and all this shit. And I hung out with them, bro. And I hung out on their fucking lowriders, and we got pulled over the same way everybody else did. And even when they found out what my name was, guess what? My last name Rodriguez. So they didn't give a fuck if I looked white. They knew I wasn't white, and that was it. So I got all the bad treatment. So I don't want to get it, but that's a totally different topic.
Yeah, but in the same note too. But remember,
I agree with you though. I do agree with you though. And this is what I was talking about the last time we got online together, was that people of color, a lot of shit.
Okay.
People that are white.
All right. So with that argument right there, I love it. So why don't you instead? You're never going to end racism. You're never going to end it. Why don't you change the system? Why don't you change the fact that everything's illegal? Everything's illegal. I want to grow, dude. I want to grow more weed, but I can't because what? It's illegal. I want to fucking do whatever the fuck I want without harming anybody. It's illegal. I want to drive with a fucking drink in my hand, no seatbelt, cell phone, illegal. I want my.
Okay. But you, bro. But you are you. You want to do it for you, right? You want to do it for you. Like you want to grow that weed for you. But for every you, there's another motherfucker trying to profit off that shit.
Yeah,
trying to fucking hurt 13-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids that don't understand how to fucking smoke weed and abuse it. So for every you have to understand that there's 10 other fucking idiots out there.
That's what I hate.
And that's where the problem comes in. It's not you.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not you, but we have to take a utilitarian approach to this, right? We can't take the fucking other approach. We have to take the utilitarian, the greater good, right? And so how do we eliminate the 10 other motherfuckers? For you is just stop it completely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it sucks, but that's just the way we have to go about it.
Yeah, that's what I fucking hate, Rod. If I give you an option, you have to kill 3 people to save 200 lives. Will you do it?
Where are those people from?
I can't tell you. 3 folks. If you kill those 3 folks,
Are any of them my ex-wife? No, I'm just kidding.
yes, dude. You and me like this. Have an ex-wife.
I'm fucking kidding. We're good. We're good.
But yeah, I hate the greater good concept because.
But you know what?
Hold on. Would you do it?
I was in the Marine Corps and I was in the Middle East.
Yeah. So was I with you. Yes.
And in my mind, whether I agree with it wholeheartedly or not, now that I'm a little bit more educated and I see like a lot of different things, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think we're out there for the right reasons. But
we're not.
At that time, I'll tell you this much. I remember seeing kids and families praise us for being out there.
Yes, certain ones
on the outskirts of Iraq, loving us for freeing them from the fucking bullshit that they had to deal with. Do I agree with some of the shit that we were doing? Do I agree with war? Do I agree with everything? I don't. But when I think back to seeing some of those kids and seeing what their faces looked like and the gratefulness that they had, you can't help but think that you're doing something good out there. So would I kill 3 people to fucking save 300,000 lives? Depends, but I might. I don't know. You can't. Hypotheticals are stupid to talk about because you never know what you're going to do until you're in that situation and whether or not you know all the facts.
And the reason why I say this because for me, I don't believe in the greater good. Because what if those 3 people were? Jesus, Einstein, and MLK. To me, the greater good is fuck that shit, man. My most favorite episode, check it out. I'm being a kid real quick. Was Rick and Morty. Was the episode where they were fighting Doomsday, the Avengers. It was a splew on it, and they had to fight for the greater good. And they killed all these people for the greater good, and it never ever did anything good. I never believed in the greater good.
I've heard this argument a million times.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you this much as a father, can you tell me that every decision that you've ever made with your child has been the 100% best?
No, absolutely not.
No. But decision possible based on with knowledge and the facts that you have at hand, yes?
Yes.
And you hope that turns into a domino effect into something good in the future. But there's no guarantee.
Nope. None.
And sometimes you have to make a tough decision based on the facts and the knowledge that you have at hand. and just trust that your instinct is making the right decision. Is it always going to work out? No.
No.
And anybody that believes in that fucking theory is fucking stupid and deserves a fucking slap in the face with a fucking big ass palm, probably as fat as mine, if not a big fucking Hawaiian's hand. I'm just saying, my point is, nothing is 100% fucking proof.
Yes. But in
Nothing in this fucking world, either in parenting, politics, fucking police reform, whatever the fuck it is, nothing is 100% proof. But you have to make the best decision possible for what you think is going to have the greatest effect. And sometimes that decision doesn't always work out for
yeah, but that's argumentative.
If the intention is made with good intent.
It is, but that's argumentative. The same note of saying the Jewish Tribune that ruled over the ghettos in Poland hired 75 Jewish people to govern these Jews in the ghettos, and these 75 Jews decided the fate of over 300,000 of their people in camps. That's the same. That's like, you see, that's why I look at it like, I can't, bro. Rod, if it was up to me,
but bro, we also can. I love and respect the fact that you know history more than me, because I love history. But I think that you are on a fucking, when we talk about like history as far as like where we love it, I think you're like up here as where I'm here. You're like the fucking top fucking 10 model, and I'm like the fat girl. That's
Rod, brother. My
point is,
yeah.
No. But hold on. Let me finish my point. My point on that is, though, that we can't read books and take everything that we read as fact today, because how do we know that those circumstances wouldn't have been different if they had internet and the digital age and information that they have today? You know, when I tell this story all the time because it's so fucking true. When my oldest son was about 13 years old, I caught him with fucking porn all over his fucking screen, right? And I was like, dude, and I lectured him, and I was like, dude, you're like fucking obsessive. Like, I really thought he had a fucking problem. And I was like, dude, like, you know, this is not normal. Like, this is on a different fucking level, right? And I was telling him, hey, when I was your age, I used to look at it too, but I looked at it like once a day. And he literally turned around and told me, that's not fucking fair because you didn't have the internet at that time. And that's a I had to take a step back and say, you're absolutely fucking right. I didn't have the internet at that time. So would things have been different if it would have been at my fingertips? So you can't compare what happens today to what happened so many years ago, before we even fucking had like email, before we even had TV, before we even had radio.
I see your point.
You can't compare that.
But Ron,
you can get a basis.
Yeah.
You can get some sort of foundation, but you can't make an equal comparison.
But Ron, 2003, the Rwanda genocide, when they were going around having fathers rape their kids, rape their moms, then cut the tits off and mutilate all the females in the family. They had technology, but they still did it because of the fact that it was for the greater good to get rid of this certain tribe. That's Rwanda.
I'm going to argue with you on that. I'm going to disagree with you on that. You know when I got my first cell phone? 2002.
Oh my God, Singular Wireless.
You know,
yeah!
my point being, my point being, not everybody has the same capabilities. What's true to you may not be true to everybody.
Yeah.
And every country runs things differently. Look at fucking North Korea. You have like no access to the rest of the world because their internet is restricted. Their capabilities of just Google it is not the same as what we have.
No, it's not.
So you can't compare one country to another, one system to another, if they're not all the same. You have to make sure, if you're going to make that kind of comparison, that everything is in the same equal ground, and the same information, the same technology, and the same resources are all the same. And we can't, because we weren't alive during that time.
Yeah.
We weren't.
But I compare human behavior throughout the years, because every time you look at it from the fucking dawn of time, Hey, 1516, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Spaniards, the Native Americans with the white man's conquest from the east to the west, the damn freaking the African, yeah. Human beings are bad by nature. It's the Lucifer effect, bro. It's Zimbardo.
Number one, we look out for our family, ourselves.
And it's shitty why we do that. Yeah.
It's not even our family. It's just ourselves. I get it. I listen, dude. I'm with you on that. I'm totally fucking with you on that. But that's not everyone.
Yeah.
I know my daughter, God rest her soul, as stupid as I tell her she is sometimes, she looks out for the greater good of others before she looks out for herself.
Why?
She's young. She's only 19, and I try to teach her better. But you know what? I love her the same. And if she can stay like that, wholeheartedly, genuinely like that, and she can still make a living off of that, then more power to her. I mean, I'm just saying that not everybody's like that, and there might be some people that are different. We don't know that, bro. We don't know that. We're looking at it from our perspective, from where we would think and what we would think, and we just have to sometimes take a step back and realize that we're not everybody.
Hey, Rod, between you and me, I don't care who's on seeing this, dude, but honestly, dude, I don't want to be part of this, bro. I do not want to be part of this world. I don't want to be part of this. It depresses me. It saddens me that people kill each other. They do things that are just so horrific, and I just do not want to be part of this, dude. I do not want to be part of society. I have dude, you want to have girls, man. I do not want my kids being raised in this world. I do not like anything going on right now, dude. And I just want to be left alone, dude. Honestly, brother, I wish I was a billionaire, bro, where I can be like, hey, Rod, here's $6 million, bro. Let's live in the mountains. Fuck the world. Let's live. Let's do what's best for us. Let's cancel society. Cancel the 9 to 5. Cancel the idea that you have to be a college degree to be successful. You got to do this to be no. If you want to live your life the way you want to live your life, and if you're happy, that's all that matters, dude. And it breaks my heart, man. I do not like it, man. You and I are products of the war on terror. You and I are products of what has happened because of policy and politics. We're products of that. Now, look at us now.
Hardly. But you know what? You know what's factual about what you just said, and what is my lesson in life to like what I try to tell my kids? The world evolves, and it will constantly evolve.
But is it good though?
And so whether it's good or not, it changes. The point is, it changes. So you have to teach your youngins to be able to adapt change.
Yeah.
And somehow keep their morality intact.
What morality?
You and I, look, people that know me, look, listen, I got a lot of fucking haters. I got family members that talk shit behind my back.
Why?
I swear I don't think I don't know it.
You're a stand-up dude.
I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. Yeah, I
Pele!
You'd be surprised because I don't fit the fucking. I don't conform to their like fucking standards. I don't give a shit. I am who I am. I live my life how I want, what I think is right and what I think is wrong. Now, are there laws that I have to fucking abide by to make sure I can do that? Then yes. Then I will adjust and, like I said, adjust to the world around you and still keep your morality intact. And that's all we can do, bro. And after that, we have to let them grow. Our parents, I guarantee you, thought the same way we did. Our parents thought the same way we did.
Morris.
They didn't want us growing up in this fucking world because it was changing the same way.
Yeah, but our parents are the reason why it's all fucked up for
shit.
us. Our parents got greedy.
I still hear shit from my dad. My dad still fucking sometimes will sit there and go on fucking 2-hour rants about how this world is fucking going to shit and we're all gonna fucking die and we're all going to fucking hell and that, you know, certain people shouldn't fucking be in charge and, you know, certain people should and, you know, my dad's always gonna bet. And And you know what? Like I told him, I was like, you know what?
Thank you.
Suck it up. Either do something to fucking change it, or suck it up and
Yeah.
deal with it. That's just the way we gotta live, bro.
If you believe in hell.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Bro, we both came from the same fucking tree, bro. We adapt and overcome.
Well, yeah, because
It doesn't mean that we conform. It just means that we abide.
yeah. Hold on. I have to pee. But I'm going to leave my out. This is my homeboy Rodriguez.
So do I. So
all right, hey.
Wait, hold on.
Pee break.
We leave it as is. Let people see our backgrounds. Let people see our backgrounds.
Yeah.
We'll come right back.
All right, cool. Backgrounds. All right.
All right. I'll be right back.
1 minute.
If you guys hear my fucking piss, don't get mad.
I won't get mad. Hey, Al, talk about some dumb shit.
I can hear you.
I'm
I
good.
can still hear you. I can still hear you.
I'm not peeing. Oh, my God.
No, I am. Oh. Hey, sometimes this feels better than sex. Just saying. I'm not saying I like it better than sex. I'm just saying it feels better than sex. Two totally different conversations and arguments.
Oh, my God, feels so good. Oh, my God, feels so good. Oh, my God.
I'm just glad the camera's not seeing me. Hey, by the way, bro, if you shake more than twice, you're not peeing. I know you can hear me, motherfucker. If you shake more than twice, you're not peeing. I'm not going to go into what you are doing. More than twice, you're not peeing.
Hear what I said. Oh, how we looking?
Man, this fucking guy didn't have to take a piss. He had to take a shit. You took a shit, didn't you?
Nah, I'm back. Hold on. I'm back. Gomez took a squat. No, he did not. All right, so let's come back and talk about the George Floyd. Dude, honestly, man, like it sucks, man, because I understand the pain, the sorrow, and everything. I just wish people would focus on the real issues that will change things, not just.
This is why, but this allegations that lead these social changes. Because how is it? Have you ever? Okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I'm just gonna put it in my perspective. It's not the way I lead. Everybody has a different way of doing things, right? But go look at all the money that's been donated to political parties and political names, and tell me if you can't build schools, after-school programs, daycares, etc., with that same money in the neighborhoods that you want to build up. If you can look at those numbers and tell me that you can't do that, I don't know what the fuck is wrong. But the reason I don't get behind some of these organizations is because they take that money and give it to political parties. And I get the argument that, oh, you want those people in your corner when shit hits the fan. But that's a shitload of fucking money. And you can take half of that shit and still build in your community programs and schools and educational leadership programs that will help your community get to the next level. But I don't see that. I see them bitching about it. I see them bitching about, or not. I wouldn't say bitching. Bitching is a bad word. You know what? I'm drunk and I apologize. But I see them complaining about the government not doing it. But they have the money to do it themselves, and they don't do it.
First and foremost, government bad. Hold on, but second, this goes back to my idea that all human beings are bad because you're talking about it's greed. It's greed from that party. It's greed from that person. That's greed. Maxine Waters, AOC. It's greed from that party that wants to put it in perspective. We're out here helping you guys. For instance, you and I are both Hispanic. AOC wearing white.
That's argumentative. That's argumentative right there.
All right.
That's up for debate.
Let's go. Let's do this then. The fact that somebody argued that it was unjust that was going on when a certain person was in power But now that their party's in power, they see nothing about it. That's unjust. And it is still injustice been happening since 1996. And especially people from Hispanic backgrounds, from south of the border, are going through this because of why? It's because of human beings. I'm telling you, dude, that's why I never been the greater good. Never. God made us, and He made the worst thing He ever can make is human beings, because greed, gluttony, it stems from human beings. It stems from the fact that human beings can never be. It's like you, bro. Dude, I respect the shit. Dude, you've always shined, bro. And I loved you for it, man. And people at the vet center would talk shit about you. I'm like, well, he did this. I'm like, who can't, dude? Bro, he's a Marine. He made it. Like, why are you hating? And it's just human behaviors. It's the crab in a bucket. That's all it is.
What's funny is
they pull you down,
bro. You know what I love about that? Haters are gonna hate, and I always try to tell my kids, and I hope that they see this one day, because I live my life the same way I try to teach them. People are always gonna have an opinion. You can either dwell on it and let it bring you down, or you can let it motivate the fuck out of you. So the more people hate on me, the more I fucking love it, because I love taking their words and making them fucking slap themselves in the face with it. I give a fucking rat's ass what anybody thinks about me, because at the end of the day, none of those motherfuckers are showing up at my door saying, hey, do you need help with your fucking bills this month?
That's right, man.
Not a fucking one.
And you and I, dude, we struggled. Remember that, dude, when the dark period you and I hit? That was dark, man. You and I were dark. I almost lost this place because of that shit, man. It's like, it sucks. And, it goes back to the thing, man. I'm telling you, man, I just don't see it. One of my favorite movies and my books of all time was written by Uptown Sinclair. It's called Oil. And the movie, you'll know about There Will Be Blood. And the fact that is my favorite quote. When I see human beings, I see nothing worth liking. And that's how I feel about shit. Like, why? Like, with you and I,
wait.
But hold on. Real recognizes real. But every other human being, I respect you in the same level you respect me. I love you. Dear brother, I love you. I respect you. But other fake motherfuckers will hate on you, hate on me. For what? For us living our lives? And that's why when I see a human being, when I first met you, dude, I was like, dude, I was scared. I'm like, this motherfucker right here, he don't play around, but he's real. And that's why I always bug you. Remember, I always got next to you, man. Hey, man, you want some udon? You want some ramen? Remember? Right, Rod? Right? Yeah. Because I knew you were real. And all these motherfuckers that were hip and cool, I never talked to them. But you, hey, side by side, you and me. Hey, what are you working on? Let me see it. You right?
What are you doing, bro? Hey, what do you got going on, bro?
Yep, because you know what?
You know what? Listen, but you know what? But at the same time, like, even though there's haters out there and I recognize them, I don't know how they grew up. I've always been, listen, man, I've always been a person that.
That's what I love about Rod. He's open.
I think your upbringing and your experiences make up who you are today. And you don't know what that person went through. Unless you grew up with them or they've told you their life story, you don't know what they grew up with, man. So they might be haters for a reason that is out of their control. And I just say, you know what, man, you're cool, bro. And that's it. If you respect me, if you can just be cool with me, like, regardless, I don't care, man. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. You just have to be able to shake my hand at the end of the day and say, hey, you know what? It's nice meeting you today, bro. You have a different opinion. I don't agree with you, and I'll be cool. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. That's the great thing about this world, is that not everybody's the same, and I love it. I love it because I learn from everybody that's different from me.
Yeah, but Rod,
but just respect it, and that's my thing, bro.
Yeah, but brother, you're special, man. The fact that you and I can come, you and I, obviously, on the George Floyd thing, we're like this. But you know what? We can talk about it. We're adults.
Yeah.
Everybody else, dude, this is a difficult thing to talk about, man. People lose their shit over it, man. They literally will delete friends over the, like, bro, that's not healthy. That's not right. That's not,
Bro,
you know?
You ought to hear half of the shit that people call me and text me. I'm like, oh my God, dude. And I laugh. I just laugh. I send them that laughing emoji, and I'm like, hey, dude, you don't have to agree with me. I'm cool. And if they delete me, oh well. You know what? The way I see it, one less person I have to worry about being fake. That's it. People that are real with me, people that are, you know who I love talking to? You know Dennis. You know Dennis Sandoval.
I love Dennis.
Me and Dennis get into debates the same way because we're all real. But at the end of the day, crack open a few beers and fucking laugh about all the fucking good times we had.
Yeah.
And that's it. And
I like Dennis a lot.
We don't have to see fucking eye to eye. At the end of the day, that's why we go to the fucking booths and put down our vote. That's it. That's it. Period. I'll listen to you. And if you have a point to make that'll change my mind, then great. Bro, I will fucking listen to you and I'll take it into consideration. Doesn't mean it's always gonna happen, but at the end of the day, you and I can shake hands, have a fucking beer, and you know, laugh. You know? It's like with Anthony Martinez too. I mean, even though we know he's a few fries short of a Happy Meal, that dude's cool with me. You know?
Yeah.
He just joined. That's why I'm talking shit about him. He knows I love him.
Yeah. Hey, I hate saying this. I banged out one of his friends, dude. Remember that girl that used to come to the vet center all the time? The chubby girl? Dude, she was bad, dude. I missed that chick.
I don't know, bro.
But you know me, man. Like, you know what? On the real,
hey, Marty's on. What's up, Marty?
What up, Marty? But you know what, dude? On the real though, with the George Floyd thing and everything, dude, I just want the world to be happy, man. It just breaks my heart with everything going on, dude. Even though I don't be a part of it, dude, it just sucks, man. Like, it plays into my mental health, dude, and everything's look, fuck.
Hey, bro, you and I, the one thing I think we can both agree on is that when I talk to and I always say my kids, because my kids are adults. You know, I have two kids that are 19 years old. They're going into the world. So I bring them up when I say I talk to them, because I talk to them wholeheartedly, like, hey, dude, you're going into this world. You're now legally able to vote. Like, I need you to understand how the world works.
Yeah.
And the one thing I tell them, bro, is that I make clear. If you don't want people to talk about you, don't give them a fucking reason to. With this piece of shit cop that I don't agree with his tactics, if he didn't want to be in the shit he was in, he shouldn't have gave people a reason to.
Yeah. Remember.
That's just the end of the day. And there was a lot of shit.
He was the senior officer on point. He was the senior officer.
He should have known better. He should have known better, bro. He should have known a lot fucking better, dude.
Yeah, I hate this case because...
fuck him, he got...
I hate this case because, honestly, man, both of them were... George and him were both in the wrong. They were living in the wrong. The fentanyl...
They were fucking working buddies, bro. They both worked at a fucking club together.
Yeah, that's what I understand. Like,
that's something that people fail to fucking realize. Like, they worked together. They had a fucking personal relationship. Look, I love when people try to say, "Oh, well, he said he didn't fucking know him." Dude, I used to work in the club industry. Let me tell you, every fucking person that worked in that industry knew everybody.
Yeah.
I had a fucking deep conversation with you, but I know who the fuck you were. I know what you were about. I know what your reputation was. Don't give me this. They didn't fucking know each other. Get the fuck out of here. They were both chasing the same ass.
Yes, as it was like they're so. You know what I hate, man? The media. All right, the media
perpetuates all this shit.
Yeah, and they play on the. Remember the what was that kid that got shot and killed? That he charged the police officer, and I can't remember what it's called. Not Zimmerman. What's the other dumbass? What was the kid that charged the cop, got shot in the head, died in the street? What was his name? I can't remember what his name was, but the media, like, dude, they separate us, man. Like, I don't know, man. I really hate it because it's like it's so about color, man. And this color is just like such an absence of. To me, this is the reason why aliens talk to us. It's the reason why we don't evolve. When human beings are worried about. I got an argument with a girl. She's like, "I'm from East LA." Oh, Gina, I'm from East LA, from Highland Park. I'm from Osorino. I'm like, yeah, my family's from that too, but also from my dad's side, they're Puerto Rican. They're from Marcy fucking projects in fucking Brooklyn, fucking Queens, dog.
What I laugh about? You know what I fucking really laugh about, bro?
Ghetto.
You know what I really fucking laugh about? And you're gonna fucking understand this. No. Hear me out on this, because you're gonna totally fucking understand it.
Preach, brother, preach.
The way you talk is not East LA, it's not Montebello, it's not fucking downtown LA or South Central, right? Because you grew up where? Where did you grow up?
East Coast.
You grew up in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yes. Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I lived in Virginia. I fucking love when people say, like, oh, you don't know what it's like in LA. Bitch, do you have any idea how much of a minority Latinos are in Virginia? Like people don't fucking stop to think, like, in Virginia, it's 10 times fucking worse for a person of color than in Los Angeles, where it's the in population.
Yeah. But where I'm from, Virginia, man, the cool thing is in Catlett and Appalachian Trail is that the fucked up thing was this, dude. We had whites, we had blacks, we had fucking Hispanics, and you know what the fucking thing was? They treat the rich folks from Warrington, from freaking all over the rich part of Virginia, treated the white folks just as poorly as us, because at the end of the day, it was about.
I wholeheartedly make this argument with different people. We have a classism problem.
Yes,
more
class.
than we do a racism problem.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly make
fucking
that argument
Rod
all the time, because I tell people I lived in Arcadia. We had black people. We had Asian people that live in Arcadia. In Arcadia, Asian people don't get fucked with. Neither do the blacks. And the Hispanics that live out there nobody gets pulled over in Arcadia, dude, unless you're rolling in a fucking Cutlass Supreme fucking lowrider with rims and fucking Dayton that doesn't belong in that area. But if you're black driving a BMW, they ain't fucking pulling you over. They ain't pulling you over in Arcadia. It's a classism thing, dude, more than it is a racism thing.
See, Rod, you already admit to it. Now you didn't admit to anything, but the thing is, like, you kind of are going to what I agree with. It's not America does not have a racism problem. America has a class problem. You know what I learned about in California? Two things. One, don't be poor. Two, in California, make at least $200,000, because if you don't make $200,000 a year, it's gonna suck.
I thought you were gonna say Californians are stupid. I was gonna agree with that one.
Yeah, they are,
we agree.
But bro, it's like, dude, I have from 1927 to 78 cars. Why are you charging me $110 to register a 62 car? It's California, man, and it sucks, man. It really does. Like, dude, the state of California is a good example. Like gun control, California has an A+ in gun control. San Bernardino shootout, North Hollywood shootout, the shootout in freaking the freaking ball. Yeah, like, bro, I'm a firm believer. Women. I fucking hate.
Just look at Chicago.
Yeah,
like fuck California. Look at Chicago. Chicago has probably the strictest gun laws as far as like the different states within the United States, and Dude, just look at what goes on in Chicago, and then sit here and try to tell me that fucking gun control is the solution. It's fucking stupid. I'm not gonna listen to that. However, I will say, and I'm not gonna say that there's one solution to solve all, but we do need to do something about certain people that don't have the maturity or the responsible gene that own a gun.
That's
Because there's a
mental
lot of
health.
those people, and those are unfortunately the people that cause this shit to happen. But and I don't know what that solution is. I don't know. I'm not sitting at that table right now. I hope to one day be, but I'm not there today, and so I can't give you a solution to everything. All I can tell you is that I don't necessarily agree with them wholeheartedly on what they think is right, but at the same time, something does need to be changed. Because there's a lot of irresponsible motherfuckers out there with guns.
Yeah, there is. But in the same note, like, all right, so you mental health. So this goes back to the mental health with man and everything. You know, man, it's a very complex issue because, like, how do you decipher?
I hate that argument.
Yeah. I do too, because
I hate that argument because based on the stupid arguments that we hear, you and I should not own guns. But I've taught police officers how to fucking shoot a gun because I used to be a fucking PMI in the Marine Corps. So I've taught people how to shoot gun properly.
Yeah,
I know, bro. I know. I can show you my fucking gun range statistics and my fucking targets, bro, and you'll you'll cream yourself. Your shirts will be stained for life. I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right, that's enough. Anyway, the point is based on what the society wants. I shouldn't own a gun, bitch. If shit went down, trust me, I'm the person you wish had a gun at the time.
Yeah,
I promise you, I'm the one you wished had a gun.
Yeah,
because I won't miss.
But in the same note, like with me, man, like you're right. You and I. All fucked up here, but like honestly, dude, I don't like violent. Dude, I don't even watch MMA fighting. I don't like violence. You and I seen enough violence to last a lifetime. It's not. No, it doesn't turn me on.
See, and I love violence, and that's the difference. Like I love dude. Like don't get me wrong. I love violence, but I love violence in a controlled environment. Meaning. I love NFL. I love boxing. I love MMA, right? Because they're all controlled. And there's something that really fucking, even some street fights, as long as I know that there's no weapons that are going to come in, no one's going to bring out a gun, there's something about the fucking loudmouth, obnoxious motherfucker getting knocked the fuck out that just gives me some joy. It's just like, I don't know, it just, my fucking... I just get like my nipples get hard. I don't know what the fuck it is, but like a fucking idiot getting knocked out, it brings joy to my face. I don't know.
But that plays into my human.
But that's because you
being evil
are responsible with it. I'm not gonna go out in the street and fuck somebody up just for no reason.
Oh yeah, man, you don't want to. But it goes back to the fact that just for me, it. Not taking your niece from under you, but it's the fact that human beings we're just violent, bro. Like especially Americans, man. We're just like so fucking violent, man. Like why? We love violence. You know what I mean? As men, we need violence, controlled or otherwise. No, who's this? Josh C. I don't like violence.
My boy, he's Corporal Carrillo. He used to work for me over in Hawaii.
Well, nice.
He didn't work for me, but he used to work with me in Hawaii.
Oh, nice. But yeah, I just don't like violence, man.
He's a great Marine, great dude. Hey, but you know what though? What you were saying about that is, and what I'm getting at is like, it's controlled with us, and we understand it. Like you might not want to see it, but I think Americans love it because for the majority, and this is just my theory. I can't prove it.
No, you're right. You're right.
I've done a fucking journal on it, so don't quote me on it. But
you're right.
But my theory is that we live vicariously through that.
No, you're right.
Because we know that we get in trouble if we do it on our own. So I think we live vicariously through that. And we pick a side, right? And we associate all our problems and all our stress with that side, whether it's a football team, a boxer, a fucking baseball team, basketball team, whatever the fuck it is. And we live through them and we fight through them. We become one with them. And I think that's why our fandom is so deep with some of these teams and some of these fighters and some of these whatever it is, because we live vicariously through them. Because we know that if we take it upon ourselves, right, we'll get in trouble. We'll get arrested. So I that's just my theory. I don't know if it's true. Whatever.
No.
I'm just saying, like, that's just
Rod, I concur, because the fact that goes back to the Zimbardo and everything. We're the most violentest people in the world. You look at it, since, our upbringing, the way that we're born, Cowboys, Indians, the shit we played. Bro, we've been to war as long as you and I have been in the service, and longer.
All about love, bro. All about love.
Yeah, but as Americans, man, look, think about it, man. We're all about it. Our economy runs on war. It's the same thing that Ike warned us about, and it sucks because, like, you're addressing the white elephant in the room, bro, and we can't. It's just that's what Americans are about. That's why everybody's all worried about China, worried about Russia. Oh my God, they're gonna beat it. No, we have a bunch of battle-hardened motherfuckers in America that are battle-hardened as fuck. That seen some shit. I've been to war, brother. You and I have been in the court for how many years?
Yeah, we have some in it, and but you know what? But I think our population is very small. I think there's another big part and a bigger part that has that Napoleon syndrome. That they have this chip on their shoulder where they have to fucking prove and feel like, oh, I'm the man. I'm the fucking this and I'm that. Because the reality of it is, bro, you and I have both seen some shit. I don't fucking walk out there acting like I'm fucking Mr. fucking badass trying to fucking kick her. If anything, bro, I go to a bar and if somebody bumps into me and wants to start shit, I'll buy him a beer and I'll be like, hey, bro, like, I'm sorry, dude. No, walk away.
Yeah. Calm down, bro.
Away.
Here's your free drink. Yeah.
Do I know I can break that fucking bottle over his head and fucking cut him with it? Absolutely. Doesn't mean I fucking go out there and do it.
Rod, Al, that's what happened to us today, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we had this guy. He was all fucking hardcore. This dude was in fucking Desert Storm. Like, dude, Rod and I, and now we had firefights last longer than the war you were in. You know what I mean? Like, why are you being all fucking nuts on us, man? Like, we're just trying to drink, bro. You know? I don't know, man. It sucks, bro.
As long as you don't touch my kids, bro, I'll excuse it all. The minute you come at my kids, bro, I'm gonna fuck you. You fucked up. You done fucked up. You done fucked up. I'm just saying. That's the only thing I have no tolerance for, bro. Kids. And I don't care if they're my kids. If they're someone else's kids, if you fucking touch a kid, bro, you deserve to be fucking stabbed in 7 different ways to where it fucking hurts every fucking nerve that you have on your body. I'm just saying, fuck that. Kids are fucking, like, should not be touched, bro. Now, when I say kids, I say 13 and under because you saw that shooting in Chicago with the 13-year-old boy, right?
Yeah. That one's weird.
Sorry. I love the argument where people try to... Hold on. I love when people try to say, oh, he was a fucking child. I was like, wait. Time out. He was a minor. He was a minor. The innocence of a child left his body the minute he took 8 shots into a car. He was not a child anymore. He was a minor. Don't confuse one with the other. And that's where I unfortunately have one of those things where I feel bad. It's very sad that gangs in different areas recruit kids at such a young age and put them through this life at such a vulnerable stage in their life where they don't understand right from wrong the way we do. But that guy was not a child anymore. He was not. And it's very unfortunate the way things turned out for him. But I just wanted to make that a point that when I say kids should not be fucking harmed, it's there's limitations to that. Like, you have to be able to differentiate right from wrong.
Yeah, fuck, I'm actually speechless, man. I can't believe that for once. I'm like, I don't know, Rod, man. I love you, brother, but I just don't want to be part of this, man. The world.
I have that effect on people. Usually, it's with women, but this.
Hey, Rod. Hey, raise your hand if women hate us and love us. Let me see that hand. Yeah, they hate and love you. Yep. Women hate you and me, man. But it's like, dude, it sucks, man. It goes back to the whole reason this podcast was started with the George Floyd case. Like, that's awesome, man. But where you and I can completely disagree, man, and be on the same page to love each. The world needs more of that. You know what I mean? More love, more understanding, more like, hey, man, I respect you. You know what I mean, dude? You don't get that anymore, man. You get that whole, well, these are my beliefs, I'm going to protect them. You know what I mean? I hate it.
Everybody's different. Everybody's different, brother. Our experiences are not like everybody else's, and you just have to be understanding of that, and just try to be. I use that word empathy so much because I think it's when I learned it, I think it was one of the greatest things that helped my communication with different people is just trying to understand what shoes they walk through, and just be able to say, hey, you know what? You didn't go through what I went through, so you don't understand what I'm seeing, and that's okay. And just let it be, bro. Sometimes you just gotta fucking shake their hand and say, hey, you know what? I agree with you. Doesn't mean we have to agree 100%. It doesn't mean that you have to hate them. It just means that, hey, you know what? It is what it is.
That's what sucks about it, man. Brother, it's like the world's ran by idiots, and we have to sit back and just accept it.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you like I tell everybody else that fucking bitches and complains, bro. There's nothing stopping your ass from going and running in office. Run for office, bro. The
funny thing you said that is I am running in 2022.
Did I tell you I was going to run for mayor over here in my town?
Why don't you run?
I didn't because I wasn't working at the time and I didn't want that to hurt me.
Charles, bro.
Bro, it's all strategy. You and I both know.
Yeah.
You and I both follow politics enough. It's all strategy.
Yeah, but look, and dude, there was
no way I was going to be able to win that battle without a job.
No, you will be. The reason why you spend it is the same thing with me, man. Like, I got a guy. He's a freaking educator from K1 to K12. Teaches high school. He's all about me running. He wants to help me and everything like about dude. The perspective of it, man. You're a Marine Corps vet, bro. Like you have a different perspective of shit, man. Big time. And even talking to you, man, like it's a different perspective. It's not the norm. And knowing you're not going to follow into a party. You're going to follow into what's the best educational decision I can make that will impact everybody and prove a good idea. You know what I mean? Like a good outcome from it. You didn't buy into the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like for me, if I run, what are you running as? Anarchist. Why? Why not? What the fuck not?
I'm running with tequila.
Yeah, I just want everybody to be okay and be able to be good. You know what I mean?
That won't work. Oh shit! Tom joined. Look at Tom.
What up, Tom? Hey, Tom. I gotta pee, Tom. I'll be back. Bathroom break, Rod, or not?
Really? You gotta go. Hey, fucker! I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna let you go because you gotta pee and I gotta go to bed.
All right. I love you, brother.
And Tom's drunk because he's asking us if we're drunk, but I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you giving me the forum to vent. And we'll definitely do this again, bro. And I always appreciate you getting on here and just talking,
ranting,
because it allows me to vent in a forum that I don't have to watch what I say or walk on eggshells.
Why would you? I love you, man. Have a good night. All right. Anybody else out there want to try the Gomez? Want to get up in here and argue with me? If not, please read the autopsy report from the hip pathologist about George Floyd. Again, let me know. Going once. Sorry. Eins. Zwei. Drei. Anybody want to jump on here with me real quick? Nope. All right. This concludes. Dude, I'm drunk. I can't. Damn computer. There we go. A false shepherd.